Dear student, I am starting your lecture number 3 on a bipolar junction transistor. In the last lecture, we have seen the input characteristics of common base configurations, and we have concluded that certain minimum voltage is required between base and emitter for the conduction of transistor. For a silicon transistor, the minimum voltage between base and emitter is of the order of zero point 0.7 voltage. If the transistor is made up from germanium material, then minimum voltage between emitter and base should be of the order of 0.3 voltage. Now today I have to discuss output characteristics. So again I am drawing the circuit diagram to obtain input and output characteristics. The circuit diagram to obtain input and output characteristics is as shown in figure. This is your transistors. Base I am keeping common. This is a base. This is your emitter. These are collectors, and this is your voltmeter I am connecting. This is already this is your current meter. This is your voltmeter which measures the voltage between emitter and base. Here I am showing you one current meter, that is collector. It measures the collector current. Here I am showing you another voltmeter. It measures the voltage between collector and base. You know that the relation between the current and voltage is known as input characteristic. Relation between the collector current and collector base voltage is known as a output characteristics for a different value of the emitter current. So to vary the voltage, potentiometric circuit is used. This is a potentiometric circuit I am showing you, and you know that emitter is kept in a forward bias. So I am showing you this is connected to the negative because this transistor is NPN, and here the collector should be kept in a reverse bias. So this collector should be kept in a reverse bias. This collector N-type material is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, so it is in reverse bias. Now already know for the direction of the sign of the meter. This is sign of the meter I am showing you. This is your base is common or it is grounded. Listen, the circuit diagram to obtain the input and output characteristics for common base configuration is as shown in figure. We have done the input characteristics. Just for the continuation, I am telling you, for input characteristics fix this value. This is constant. Vary the emitter base voltage in a suitable step and note down the corresponding value of the emitter current. The graph of the emitter current versus emitter base voltage is shown in figure. This is the graph we have seen for a two different value of collector base voltage. I think this much already you know. Now let us talk about output characteristics. For a output characteristics I am discussing now. Now I am discussing how to take output characteristics. Keep ammeter current constant by adjusting proper value of ammeter base voltage. Keep ammeter current constant by adjusting proper value of ammeter base voltage with the help of potentiometric circuit. Just to explain you, let me say this is I have adjusted 2 milliamp. Vary the collector base voltage in a suitable step and note down the corresponding value of the collector current. Vary the value of collector base voltage and note down the corresponding value of the collector current. So, collector base voltage I am changing in a different step and note down the value of collector current. Repeat this procedure for a different value of the ammeter current. The graph of output collector current with output voltage VCB at a constant value of ammeter current is called output characteristics. The graph of output collector current versus output collector base voltage at a constant value of the input emitter current is called output characteristics. So, I am showing you the nature of the graph. This you are getting like this. The graph of output collector current with output collector base voltage is shown in figure for a different value of input current. I am showing you this for different value of input. So, you will get this kind of the graph. If you keep both the junction in a forward bias, then this can be also obtained. This is called saturation region. Listen now, the graph of output collector current versus output collector base voltage for a different value of the ammeter current is shown in figure. The graph of output collector current versus output collector base voltage for a different value of the input ammeter current is shown in figure. This region is known as active region, in which ammeter base junction in forward bias and collector base junction in a reverse bias. This is both the junction in a forward bias. This is called saturation. Here both the junction in a reverse bias. we are discussing for this. This is for your information I am showing. Now I am discussing this graph. Look here. Just for your knowledge I am showing you. This value is 8 milliampere. This value is 6 milliampere. This value is 4 milliampere. 2 milliampere. Reason is that why I am showing like this. Your output current, this is your output current, this is your input current. So output current is always less than the input current. Output current, this output current is always less than this input current. Because see, this is 8 milliampere. This is a graph, this shows the output current. And this also shows the output current. It is below the 8 milliampere. So this graph is below the 6 milliampere. Your input current is 6 milliampere. Output current is below 6 milliampere. So this graph shows that output current is always less than the input current, because you know that ammeter current is nothing but the base current plus collector current. So it is clear cut, the collector current is always less than the ammeter current. So this graph indicate output current for common base configuration is always less than the input ammeter current. As a result, current gain alpha is always less than 1. Current gain alpha is always less than 1. This graph also indicates that the output collector current is independent of the VCB. You are changing the VCB, even though very small change in the output collector current takes place. It means output current is almost independent on VCB. This indicate that the output collector current is independent on VCB. Secondly, you are keeping this voltage 0, even though you are getting some, you are keeping this voltage is 0, even though you are getting some current at the collector, this current is obtained. Look here, this graph show like this. You are keeping this value 0, collector base, even though you are getting some current here. This graph show that if the VCB is kept 0, even though you are getting some output current, means you are keeping the output voltage, collector voltage 0 with respect to base, even though you are getting some collector current. See, ammeter base junction in forward bias. As a result, this inject the electron into the base, and due to internal potential barrier at the collector junction, this electron will enter into the collectors and gives some rise in a collector current, even though collector voltage is 0. I am discussing why you are getting collector current even though collector base voltage is 0. Reason is you are getting the collector current even though collector base voltage is 0. Reason is that ammeter base junction in forward bias. As a result, electrons are injected from ammeter into the base. Due to internal potential barrier at the reverse bias collector base junction, this electron enter into the collector and give rise into the some collector current, even though collector base voltage is 0. Due to these reasons, you are getting this current. You are getting this current, you can see. It is not too much, but you are getting some current. Now, this is I have to discuss about the output characteristics. Now, I will discuss some important point. First point. First, I am say early effect, or it is known as a base width modulation. Let us see what is early effect or base width modulations. As VCB increases due to increase in VCC, due to increase in VCC, as this voltage increases, so this voltage increases. As VCC increases means VCB increases, that's why I have written like this. As VCB increases, due to increase in VCB, the depletion layer or you can say space charge width, or you can say width of the space charge region, depletion layer at collector base junction increases. So, width of base region decreases, which is very clear. It's very clear, you can say here. This is NPN. As this voltage increases, clear cut, this depletion layer, space charge width at this junction increases, this is increases, as this is increases. So, base region decreases, this is already it has a depletion layer due to emitter base forward bias. So, width of the base decreases, width of the base decreases. So, dependence of the base width on the collector voltage or emitter voltage is called early effect or base width modulation. The dependency of the base width on a collector and emitter voltage is called base width modulation, or you can say early effect. Last time I am telling you, as this voltage increases, as the collector base voltage increases, the depletion layer at the collector base junction, depletion layer at collector base junction, this I am talking about this collector base junction increases, this collector base junction increases, or you can say space charge width increases. As a result, width of the base decreases. So, the dependency of the width of the base on a collector voltage, or you can say emitter voltage, is known as a early effect or base width modulation. This dependency of the base width causes three consequences. First, as VCB increases, base width decreases, so collector current increases, as a result alpha increases. This is your NPN. This is the collectors. Here is VCB. As VCB increases, this width increases, so base width decreases. So this electron get the less chance to recombine with the whole of the base. As a result, collector current increases. As collector current increases, alpha increases. So again I am telling you, listen, as first conjugation, as VCB increases, base width decreases, so collector current increases, so alpha increases. Second conjugation, as VCB increases, the space charge region increases, you can say space charge width increases. So you can say that the gradient of the space charge increases in a base. Gradient of space charge in base increases. As a result, the current due to minority charge carrier across the emitter junction increases. As collector base voltage increases, space charge width increases. So, the gradient of space charge in a base increases. As a result, width of the base decreases. So, current due to minority charge carrier across the emitter junction increases. Third, as the collector base voltage increases, width of the base decreases. As you increase more and more collector base voltage, at the particular value of the collector voltage, width of the base is reduced to 0, which causes the voltage breakdown in a transistor, This is called punch through. Listen, what are the three consequences? First consequence I am telling you. As the VCB increases, base width decreases, so IC increases, alpha increases. For your information I am taking, suppose alpha is 0.98 at some value of the VCB1. As VCB1 increases, then alpha become 0.985. So alpha increases, this means alpha increases. As a result, you are not getting straight graph like this, You are getting some increase in the current. As alpha increases, so some increase in the current you are getting. So I can say that output resistance is not 0. It is some resistance. Listen again. As VCB increases, you know that alpha increases. Due to this region, you are getting slightly increasing the graph. So this represents that the output resistance of common base configuration is not 0. So remember that I will use these informations in some topic. Due to increase in collector base voltage, alpha slightly increases. It becomes 0.98 to 0.985. So, what is the early effect? Early effect means when collector base voltage increases, then this depletion layer increases. As a result, base width decreases. This effect is called early effect, or it is called base width modulation. The decrease in base width consequence has a three consequences. See, first, alpha increases. Second, you can say due to gradient of the space charge, the minority charge carriers, current due to minority charge carrier across the emitter junction increases. Third consequence is if you increase the value of VCB at the particular value of the voltage, base width is reduced to 0. This is called punch through. In short, I am discussing what we have discussed in today's lecture. In today we want to find the output characteristics. What is output characteristics? The graph of the output collector current versus collector base voltage with a constant input emitter current is called output characteristics. Now what is the method? How to take the output characteristics? Keep this emitter current constant by fixing the emitter base voltage with the help of potentiometer circuit. Just for your understanding, I have taken 2 milliampere. Now I am changing the collector base voltage in a suitable step and note down the corresponding value of the collector current. Repeat this procedure for a higher value of the emitter current. The graph of the collector current versus output collector base voltage for a different value of the emitter current is shown in figure. This graph I am showing you in a 3-part. One is saturation, second is active, and third is cutoff. For your information, I have shown saturation, cutoff. Here both the junction in a forward bias, here both the junction in reverse bias, here emitter base junction in forward bias and collector base junction in reverse bias. So that region is called active region. Now here's output current is always less than the input current. As a result, current gain alpha is always less than 1. It is always less than 1 because alpha is output current upon input current. IC is always less than emitter current, so it is always less than 1. It is of the order of 0.9, 0.8, 0.98, 0.7. Everything depends upon the doping concentration of these three regions. I am discussing now the parameter of common base transistor. I am discussing H parameters, which is known as a hybrid parameter for common base transistor configuration, or you can say common base configurations. First, draw the input and output characteristics. I am showing you this is your input characteristics. This is your input emitter current, this is input emitter base voltage, and this is the graph of this is collector base voltage is 0, this is a collector base voltage is, let me say, 2 volt. Okay, the graph of the input current versus input emitter base voltage is called input characteristics. Now I am discussing, I am showing you another graph. This is output characteristics. 1, 2, 3, 4. This emitter current is 2 milliampere. This is your 4 milliampere. Just for understanding, I am writing 8 milliampere. This is your 10 milliampere collector current. This is your collector base voltage. Now, first parameter, input resistance HIB. I for input, B for common base. First H parameter, it is input resistance. It is written as for input I, for common base B. The input resistance for common base configuration is the ratio of change in input emitter base voltage to the corresponding change in input current at a constant value of the collector base voltage is called input resistance. Listen again. Input resistance of the common base is the ratio of change in emitter base voltage to the corresponding change in emitter current at a constant value of the output collector base voltage is called input resistance. It is of the order of 20 to 50 ohm. It is of the order of 20 to 50 ohm. It is low because you know that it is operated in a forward bias. So this, if I find this, so this is your delta VEB, this is your delta IB. So slope from the input characteristics, delta I upon delta EB. So HIB is nothing but the 1 upon slope. I think you understand this. Second, output admittance, output admittance, output admittance, output admission, out for output HO, this is your for common base, B, I am writing B, output admittance. From output admittance you are finding the output resistance. See, it's a ratio of change in collector current, it is ratio of change in output collector current to the corresponding change in a collector base current at a constant value of the emitter current is called output resistance. It's a ratio of change in collector current, output collector current. It is a ratio of change in output collector current to the corresponding change in a output collector base voltage at a constant value of the input emitter current is called output admittance. Its value is of the order of from 0.1 micro to 10 micromole. The unit of this is your ohm, this unit is ohm, unit of input resistance is ohm, unit of output admittance is mho, the unit is mho, you can say, this is ohm, this is mho, you know, this is MHO. What is output admittance? Output admittance means that it is a ratio of change in collector current to the corresponding change in a collector base voltage at a constant input current. Again, it is a ratio of HOB, output admittance is a ratio of change in output collector current to the corresponding change in a collector base voltage at a constant input emitter current is called output admittance. From this you can find output resistance. Output resistance is nothing but the 1 upon slope or 1 upon HOB. You can find this output from output admittance from this graph output characteristics. So HOB is nothing but I can write delta IC upon delta VCB. I is constant. I think you understand this. Very simple. Third parameter. Third parameter is forward current gain. It is forward current gain. HF for forward, B for common base. So what is the forward current gain? It is a ratio of change in output current to the corresponding change in input current at a constant value of the output voltage. Listen, it is a ratio of change in output collector current IC to the corresponding input emitter current IE at a constant value of output collector base voltage VCB. Forward current gain is the ratio of change in output collector current to the corresponding change in a input emitter current at a constant output collector base voltage. This is obtained from output characteristics. See, I am getting from this. What is the change in this? What the change in the? This is change in emitter current from this to this. If I say I1, say I2, so delta I is nothing but the IE2 minus IE1, and its corresponding, I am writing, I am drawing the normal from here to here. This is your corresponding delta IC. So I can write HFB is delta IC upon delta IE, and this value is constant. You can say VCB you can see this constant. So look here, I have to find delta E and corresponding change in delta IC you can find. You draw the normal from this point to this, from this point to this, and find out the change in collector current. Change in emitter current is this minus this, so change in emitter current, this is constant. So from the output characteristics you can find the change in collector current, and also you can find the change in emitter current for a constant value of this. It is always less than 1. Its value is between 0.9 to 0.98. This also you can find by plotting the graph of output collector current versus input emitter current. So the slope of this line will give you HFB, and this is always less than 1, 0.9, 0.98, 0.95 like so. This is a unit less. This is your unit less. There is no unit. Fourth parameter is reverse voltage ratio. Reverse voltage ratio. R for reverse, B for common base. The reverse voltage ratio HRB is defined by the change in a input voltage to the corresponding change in a output voltage at a constant value of the input emitter current. Reverse voltage ratio HRB is the ratio of change in emitter base input voltage to the corresponding change in a output collector base voltage at a constant value of emitter current. It is a unit less. HRB is the ratio of change in input emitter base voltage to the corresponding change in a output collector base voltage at a constant input emitter current. It's a unit less. You can find from the input characteristics, and also you can plot the graph of VEB versus VCB. From this graph you can find the slope, or you can find this parameter from the input characteristics. Value of HRB is of the order of 10 raised to minus 5 to 10 raised to minus 4. You can find also from input characteristics, and also you can find by plotting the graph of VEB versus VCB. All these 4 parameters are important. Look here. First parameter as a unit is ohm. Second parameter is unit is mho. The third parameter and fourth parameter, they are not having a unit. They are unitless. So it has a mixture of the unit. So these parameters are known as a hybrid parameter. Hybrid parameters are very useful for a audio frequency range of the amplifier. From the hybrid parameter you can find the all parameters related to the amplifier circuit. You can find the input resistance, output resistance, voltage gain, current gain of the amplifier can be calculated from this H parameter. So this is very useful. I think you understand how to find the parameter from input and output characteristics. This is your input characteristics. This is your output characteristics. Here I am keeping the end of the lectures. Next time I will discuss the characteristics of common emitter transistor.